Welcome to our Canyon Circuit.
Hello and welcome to a Battle of the Ports Remastered. This is Power Drift that first hit the arcades on August 5th, 1988, running on the Sega Y board. Power Drift, if released in modern times, would be classed as a kart racing game. However, I disagree and think it should remain being called a roller coaster racer. Designed and directed by Yu Suzuki, Power Drift was a critical and commercial success upon release in the arcades. The objective of the game is to finish each race in third place or better, in order to advance to the next stage. Players have the option of continuing if they finish the race in fourth place or lower before the game is over, but the player's score will not increase upon continuing the game. The tracks have a roller coaster feel to them, with many steep climbs and falls, as well as the ability to fall off higher levels. To add to this feeling, the sit-down arcade cabinet was built atop a raised hydraulic platform, and the machine would tilt and shake quite violently. I had the opportunity to play this a lot back in 1988, and let me tell you, it was awesome! Each circuit, labelled from A to E, has a certain theme to it. For example, Circuit A has cities, Circuit B has the deserts, Circuit C has beaches, and so on, in a series of 5 tracks. There are also 4 laps for each course. All good arcade games have some secrets, and Power Drift is no exception. If players place first on all 5 tracks, an extra stage is unlocked, where the assigned car is a vehicle from other Sega games. Course A, C and E allow the player to race the F-14 Tomcat fighter from Afterburner 2 and the extra stage, while courses B and D have an option to race the motorcycle from Super Hang-On. Players can also press the start button while in a race to see a rear view. So let's start off with all the European home computer ports that appeared in 1989, and all developed or outsourced by Software Studios. Kicking us off is the Amiga version that runs at a frame rate between 7 and 2 frames per second. Yep, you heard me right. Now, of course, there is no way the Amiga could ever compete against the Sega Model Y arcade board, but could it have done better than this? On the plus side, we do have a choice of digital or analog controls via the mouse. However, the game is so laggy, it really doesn't matter. Also, the camera moves too slowly on corners, meaning you can't always judge a corner well. I do like how we get music and sound effects together. That is a nice touch, even more so as the music isn't hard panned to the left or right.
Final lap.
Next up is the Atari ST version, which basically looks identical to the Amiga, but at least has a 50-60Hz toggle option, which is nice. The frame rate is better than the Amiga, but at a cost of having no music during gameplay. Also, whenever there's a PCM audio sample played, the frame rate tanks to 1 frame per second. However, this is only for a second, so it doesn't make much of a difference. As for how the game plays, well, the extra frame rate does help, but it still sucks to play.
Second lap. Third lap.
Onto the 8-bit systems now, starting with the Amstrad CPC, and what a pretty version this is. The programmer John Mullins has certainly played to the strengths of the CPC here. The game moves fairly smoothly and even plays quite well. Unfortunately, the tracks all look quite similar, resulting to some boredom after a while. But still, this is quite impressive and a far better game than what the Amiga and ST users had. Here we are with the Commodore 64 release, and what would you know? This is also a pretty good game. Yeah, it looks buggered all like the arcade and the colours are drab, but it plays reasonably well for the time period. We even get in-game music, which is always a welcome on these older home micros. John Mullins from the Amstrad version is back with the ZX Spectrum version. Is it just me, or does this look like an LCD game? I don't know what went wrong with this port, as it doesn't play as well as the Amstrad version. The ZX Spectrum port seems more sluggish, with a more harsh collision detection. Still, at least it has a banging version of Like the Wind. John Mullins is back again with the MSX port. And John was a busy guy, and that was a shame, as this MSX version should have been better than just a cheap-ass ZX Spectrum port. Oh well, just like many other Western MSX games, I guess.
Three, two, one, go!
Let's move back to the 16-bit systems for the game on the PC, running under MS-DOS. As you can see, this looks very much like the Amstrad CPC version. I wonder who developed this port. As for how it plays, well, again, it's very much like the Amstrad CPC version. April 13th, 1990 saw the release of Power Drift to the PC Engine from Copier System. The PC Engine cannot scale sprites and hardware, but there is some nice software sprite scaling here and there on the player's car. I'm also surprised at how many sprites this game is throwing around. Mind you, this comes at the expense of plenty of flicker, plus there are only 6 races at once on the course rather than 12. Still, that's mighty impressive for the 8-bit PC Engine. Strangely, in this version of the game, you can't choose the course selection, but you can choose your character as well as the colour of the buggy. While the game is missing many stages, it does contain the hidden Afterburner jet stage, which is a nice bonus. Eight years had passed since the previous PC Engine port, until the Sega Saturn got a port on February 26, 1998. This port was handled by FAT, whoever they are, and they have given us the first port to actually bring the arcade thrills to the home. The graphics are highly accurate and the gameplay is good, if not a little more forgiving than the arcade game. Sadly, the Saturn version runs at half the frame rate at 30 frames per second, but it does look less pixelated than the arcade version. The game comes with two gameplay modes, being Arcade and Grand Prix. The Grand Prix mode lets you race every course in succession, including all the bonus courses as well. So there is an incentive to finish it. The original arcade Power Drift rewarded you for finishing first in all of the courses in the circuit by giving you a bonus race, either using the Afterburner F14 Tomcat or the motorcycle from the original Hang-On. With the Saturn's Grand Prix mode, if you get first in all races, you get all the bonus courses to race on, as well as some new courses made specifically for this mode. The audio in this port is all chiptunes, and they sound great. Maybe not exactly like the arcade, but still very good. Also, there are arranged music tracks as well. All in all, the Saturn port of Power Drift, despite running at half the frame rate, is fantastic, and best of all, it works with all Saturn analog controllers, from the 3D pad to the flight stick and of course, the steering wheel, as well as a standard digital controller. Utsubo Games brought Power Drift to the Dreamcast on December 1st, 2001, as part of the Yu Suzuki Gameworks collection. It was originally intended to be part of Shenmue 3, but since that never saw the light of day on the Dreamcast, it ended up as part of Gameworks. Unlike the Saturn version, this runs at 60 frames per second, but because it was meant to be part of Shenmue 3, it's also low on additional features. The graphics are also upscaled, so it may not look as clean as the Saturn version to some people.
Second lap! Final lap! Good for you! Third lap! Oh! Hurry up! Final lap! Hurry up! What you're made of!
Final port of Power Drift appeared on the 3DS on December 23rd, 2015, as part of the Sega Ages Archives Volume 2. This port was handled by M2, so you know it'll be great. While this version is somewhat emulation, it does have some additional features unique to the 3DS, such as the obvious widescreen 3D image, but also includes a bonus mode with music and riders from other Sega games, including Space Harrier, Fantasy Zone, Bare Knuckle, Galaxy Force 2, Shinobi Altered Beast, Alex Kidd, Hang-On, and others.
Third lap! Three, two, one, go!
And let's take a look at all those versions of Power Drift running side by side.